Well, hey everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully, you guys are doing lovely today. Yes, I was on a little bit earlier, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, is she doing math? Oh no, she's selling something. Bye." That is perfectly fine. But now we're actually going to do a little bit of math. Let's wet that whistle, right? So, if anything, what I generally do is I look up some ASVAB and some GED type questions, and then I kind of go through them, you answer them, and I correct it. All right? Simple as that, nice and easy, and plenty of squeezy. So, for number one, if the sum of two angles equals 90 degrees, what are they called? Is it A, right angles, B, complementary angles, C, obtuse angles, or D, parallel angles? All you have to do is, if you think you know it, go ahead and put the answer in the chat. And if you're not sure, remember the question mark is what you can use. You don't have to say option E because there is no option E, right? So let's see what you know. Okay, so we got is with C. I know I have to kind of raise this up. Test square, how are you? Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a gander. Okay, thank you for coming on in, guys. Don't be afraid of the math. Let's see what you know. And I was like, maybe for this live, I might actually invite some people up. I think I might do that, right? Rare moment. Okay, she's like, I love math. Awesome. All right, so let's take a gander. So if the sum of two angles, okay, so a right angle does not include the sum. Yes, a right angle is 90 degrees, but it says the sum of two angles. So it's not going to be A. And obtuse angles are angles that are more than 90 degrees, but not quite 180. So C is actually going to be out. And parallel angles, we don't have those. So your thing is going to be complementary angles. So that's actually the definition of what complementary angles are. So there's always a phrase of complementary angles. They are the sum of two angles that equals 90 degrees. And the other one is called supplementary. Now, supplementary angles are 180 degrees. So two angles that equals up to 180 degrees. All right, so, right, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. So we are here. Okay, we're here to grow. Let's do it. So number two, I want you to round that lovely number, okay, because I don't want to read it because they'll give off, a little hint, to the nearest whole number. Is it going to be A, B, C, or D? None of the above. Okay, Uncle is saying B. Okay, Callie Mama is saying B. Okay, is it Esmeralda saying B? Carla saying A. That's A. Rev A. Touchdown A. Chicken nuggets. Okay, say A. Mimi saying A. Okay, we got some A's. Chicken nuggets saying B. Okay, we got B's, we got A's, we got A's, we got Crystal A. Smythe is saying B. One smart lady is saying A. Esmeralda is saying B. King D. Okay, this one's saying A. All right, so let's take a look. Now, if I make this a little bit larger, we might be having some changes of some answers. I'm just saying. So let me give it a try. So King is saying D. Dahlia saying D. Who is saying that? King saying that. On this King. Okay, King, I got you. We have said your name several times. All right, so we have a decimal point right here. So if we are rounding to the nearest whole number, so that means I'm looking at the number in the 10th spot. So what's in the 10th spot is that 4. Now, here's the thing. If it's 4 and below, that means I'm looking at 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That means I am actually going to leave this number alone and ignore what's happening here. Okay? But if it was a 5 and above, meaning 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that means we're going to have to add 1 to that ones place. But that's not what's happening. We had a 4. So that means our answer is going to be A, 10,335. Okay, just going with that reference. Now, so here we go with number 3. The sum of the measures of angles of the shape below is, okay, is it A, 90 degrees, B, 45 degrees, C, 180 degrees, or D, 360 degrees? So the sum of the measures of the angles of the shape below, is it A, B, C, or D? Okay, so Kelly, Mama, Ref, Bobby are all saying D, Cora saying D, Jay saying D. Is that Maria is saying A, Dimitri with the D, Miss Leni with the D, Corey D, Chicken Nuggets with the D. Which angle? All of them. The word is sum. Sum is all of them. Samuel with an A, Jay with 90 with explanation. We got Lady with a D. Mrs. Curtis is with a D. Hello's with a D. Okay, Alex with a D. M with a D. Is that Aya? Ann? Saying, hey, Jocelyn's in here with a D. Keithan's okay. Copeland with a D. Bliss fan with a D. All right, thank you. All right, so let's take a look. First off, anytime they say the sum, that means they want all the measures of the shape. Not what's happening inside here. They want the measures of the shape. So if you're unfamiliar, anytime you have a four-sided figure, that means the measure of the angles is always going to equal 360 degrees. All right? So we have something that's giving us 360. Do we know what the exact measures of this is? No. Okay? So it's kind of looking like a rhombus because we got our diagonals being perpendicular to each other. All right? Hey, Candy, how are you? Okay, Michael joining. How are you? What about the right angle? Nope, we're talking about the angles of the figure. Okay? Not that angle in the middle. All right? Okay. Yes, all the angles of the figure, has nothing to do with the angles in the centerpiece. Nope. Okay. So in an equilateral triangle, if two sides have the sum of 50 inches, what is the length of the third side? Is it A, 30 inches, B, 25 inches, C, 50 inches, or D, 55 inches? Okay, a whole bunch of C's. Fuel to fire, what were the angles on the last one? So every time you have a four-sided figure, it always equals 360. Because a four-sided figure, if you cut it in half, that's two triangles. A triangle is always equal to 180 degrees. So since you have two triangles, that's going to be involved. Okay? So a four-sided figure always equals 360 degrees. Okay? All four-sided figures, always the total of their angles and not what's happening in here in the middle. Even if you did what's in here in the middle, that's still 360 because eventually what happens to the shapes, they all end up being a circle. Okay? And how many degrees is a circle? 360. Okay? So now for number 4, okay, we had some B's. Oops. Boop. Okay. All right, so we got some B's. Some people changing to B's. Okay. Okay, Cora with a B, the watcher with a B. Lickle is saying C. Okay. All right. So if we had that equal angle, first off, what we need to know is Ms. Cox is saying with a B, equilateral triangle. So that means all three sides are congruent. Okay, this side, and this side. So they're saying if two sides have the sum of 50, so if two of the sides is 50 inches, okay, so that means if I take that 50 and I divide by 2, that means each of the side is going to be 25. Okay, so that means this is going to be 25, this is going to be 25. So since this is an equilateral triangle and all three sides are supposed to be equal, that's why this is going to be 25. And your answer is B. Okay. All right. So, coming with some of the basics will be wonderful. Trying to get some of this information to make it make sense, enough for you to raise the scores up. Okay, again, if you are currently in the classroom and you're currently taking an Algebra 1 or an Algebra 2 class, or you're just in the classroom, period, remember, you do need to show your work, okay? I'm trying to emphasize with a lot of people that are taking, say, their GED or the ASVAB or the AccuPlacer. Those is a timed assessment. So you don't want to spend too much time with like, oh, I think I know the answer. Oh, okay. And you already knew the answer like 5 steps back. Doesn't matter. You see your answer, you got it, you feel confident in it, bubble it, circle it, click it, move on. Okay? Do not just sit there like, oh, I finally got a question. Let me sit here and look at it, because time's going to keep going regardless. Now, if you're taking the ASVAB, which is a test for the military, you're basically given like 1 minute per question. And there's going to be some questions that you don't need the full minute for. So just to be cautious of your time, all right? So now if we take a look at number 5, I'm seeing a lot of people are saying B's, liking this. So it says, what is the volume of an aquarium that measures 16 inches long by 16 inches wide by 11 inches high? Is it A, 1,100 square inches? Is it B, 1,188 cubic inches? Is it C, 1,233 squared inches? Or is it D, 1,238 cubic inches? Okay, so we're saying multiplying all three. Okay, hey, Big G Money, I see you in there. Okay. So 18 inches. Okay. So we got our B's, Let's see. Yeah, okay. Good. Got all those. All right, so let's take a look. So they're giving us volume. Anytime they're talking volume, they're talking about cubic inches. So right away, A and C is out because they're talking about squared inches. Squared inches does not go with volume. Cubic is always going to be associated with volume, all right? So now we're talking about an aquarium and they're giving us 3 sides. So they're basically looking at the aquarium as if it was like a rectangular prism. Okay, so we got a lovely box here. So we have our 18 inches long. So we can say our 18 is here, our 6 inches wide, and our 11 inches high. So since they're giving you those 3, you're just basically multiplying. So I'm going to go with the 11. I'll do the 11 times 6. So 11 times 6 obviously will give me 66. Now I'm going to multiply that answer 66 with 18. So I know it's got to either be B or it's got to be D, because both of those have the cubic inches. They both end in 8, but I think knowing what that 10 spot is going to help me decide the factor. So I know 6 times 8 gives me 48, carry the 4. Okay, and 6 and 8 was like 48, so that'll be 52. So 6 here, 6 here. So I bring down this 8. Then we have 6, 7, 8. So with that 5 and 6 gives me 11. So my answer is going to be B. Once I saw that first 8, okay, they both end in 8. Then the second one I got an 8. This has an 8. That one has a 3. So it has to be your B. Okay. All right. Okay. Number 6. What is the circumference of a circle that has a radius of 5 feet? Is it A, 3.39 feet? Is it B, 33 and 9/10 feet? Is it C, 3 and 1400 feet? Is it D, 31 and 4/10 feet? Okay, thank you so much for the follows, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, Ashley is giving me a D. So Emily's giving me an A. Okay, a few follows. Thank you so much for the follows. Kels is giving me a D. PJC, Big G Money saying D. Really, robotics? Pick one. Ryan with a D. D, thank you. Okay, we got a couple D's, Is that Key saying D? Hope she dials. Okay, saying D. I'm going to explain. Keep your shirt on. God's child saying D. Michelle is saying D. Okay. So, it's ACG. Okay. You be near my formula sheet. Can't read. All right, so let's see. We got a lot of people with D's. So, circumference. Okay, circumference of a circle. So we know that circumference of a circle is one of two formulas. It's either going to be my 2 pi r, or it'll be your pi d. So right now, they're giving me a radius. So since they're giving me radius, I'm going to use that one. So if I'm going twice my radius, it's going to look like this. So I have my circumference, 2 pi, and my r is 5 feet. So that means 2 times 5, that will give me 10. So 10 pi. Now, we know pi. Since my answers don't have pi involved in it, that means they want the decimal form, the one that we all know and love, 3.14. And if you're going to multiply 3.14 or 3 and 1400ths, that means I'm moving this decimal place over one place to the right. So this is actually going to be 31.4, which my answer will be D. Okay, there you go, Tim. I see you. Yeah, good job, Mara. Like, I was right. Yes. Not a problem, dude. Panic at the Waffle House. I can't. The names. I love it. All right, so let's try the decimal. So if you do 3.14 and you multiply that by 10, okay? This has 2 decimal places. The 10 has none. That means my answer needs to have 2 decimal places. So if I multiply this, I'm going to have my 3140. And that means I need 2 decimal places. So that's 1, 2. So that decimal place is going to be between the 1 and the 4. The shortest way for me, if I have a small number and it's being multiplied by 10, that means I'm making it bigger. And I'm going to make it bigger by moving this decimal place over one spot. So that's how one way you can just multiply it, or another way is if you're 10xing, you're making it bigger, right? My friend Lynette says I do that a lot with stuff. Hence, that's how the algebra at your pace kind of transformed. So that's how we did that. Okay? All right, Miss Curtis, there we go. Or Mrs. Curtis, excuse me. All right, thank you, Tim. Appreciate you. She's probably on here, but like, aye! All right, so hopefully you guys are still there. Okay. All right, what is the... Wait, are you guys still there? Okay. Oh, I don't know about saving your life. That's a bit much. Okay, so what is the perimeter of the right triangle below? All right, so we have a base of 15. We have a height of 17. But if we need the perimeter is all the way around. Okay, just give me that lovely little hint. So is your answer for the perimeter 48.3 feet? Is it B, 54 and 7/10 feet? C, 61 and 1/10 feet? Or D, 65 and 3/10 feet? There you go, Ted. There's probably some other people that said it. I just looked up to see Ted. Hold on. Wise guy. Yep. Yep, wise guy. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yes, we are. Awesome. Yes, so you're going to use Pythagorean's theorem. And if you don't remember Pythagorean's theorem, go ahead and look at Ted in the chat. He put it in there. What is... Oh, you guys are proving more and more to me about my resources that I created. More and more. What is 15 squared? 15 times 15. We got our what? Our 225? Yep, 225. Okay. Yep, Pythagorean theorem. Find C. Yes. How do you know which one's B and which one's C? Ah, okay. So Pythagorean's theorem. You have your A squared plus your B squared equals your C squared. Your C squared. Notice here we have a soon to be a right triangle. The side that is directly across from that right triangle is always going to be your longest side. So that's called the hypotenuse. Ooh, handwriting is bad. Okay, and that's always your C. Okay, so the longest side, the side that's directly across from the 90-degree angle, that's your hypotenuse. Now, these two other sides, they're called legs. I know, I didn't invent this, but I know how to explain it. Okay, your two legs, those are your A's and your B's. It doesn't matter, they're interchangeable. Okay, they are definitely interchangeable. So if you want to say 15 squared for your A and 17 squared for the B, awesome. If you want to say 17 squared and then plus 15 squared, awesome, not a problem. But no matter what, your longest side is always going to be your C. Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. I'm not sure who said that, but thank you. Panic at the Waffle House. All right. So now some people are like, okay, well, I know this. This is probably like one of those perfects. Fine. So we have our 15 squared plus our 17 squared. So like I said, our 15 squared is that 225. Now 17 squared, that's when I have 7, 8, 9. So that will be my 289. So we have 225 plus 289. The way I remember it is, since we have 7, I know I'm close to 15, so there's still a 2 involved. But then I have 7, 8, 9. I don't know. That's just how my brain works. So now we have 225 plus that 289. Can't speak now. So if we have our, this will be a 4, carry the 1, so that's 10, 1, that's 11, carry the 1, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that means my c squared, can I put it over here just to give a little bit of room? So we got our 514, that's going to equal my c squared. But we don't want the squared, we want the c. So that means we're going to take the square root of both sides, because squares and square roots are inverses of each other. Okay, they cancel each other out. So now we're looking at the square root of 514. And you're probably saying, I have no idea, Audrey. Like, I have no clue. So I can only say roughly, if we're saying, if I said 20 squared is 400. So I know it has to be more than 20 squared. And 25 squared is 625. Well, I know it's definitely less than 625. So the reason why I'm saying this is because when you take your GED and your ASVAB and your Accuplacer, you will not be able to use the calculator. So it's like, oh yeah, Audrey is like 22 something. I don't know. So all I have to do is use what I know. I know that the square root of 625 will give me 25. Now, if I do 20, that's going to be 400. Then we have 21 squared, 441. Then I have 22 squared, 484. I'm trying to go by memory. It's killing me. Okay. And I know that 24 squared will be 574. So that's too much. So it's got to be between 22, because 23 is what? 23 squared. 23 squared is 529. Okay, 529 is too much. So that means we're looking at 529. Oops. And then we're looking at 22, which was 484. And I know that this square root of 514 is going to be between these two. So if this is going to be 22 squared, and this is going to be 23 squared, it's got to be somewhere between 22 and 23. Okay, it's got to be somewhere between 22 and 23. So if I say 22 something, even if I say 22 something, like 22.4, just put that out there. Now I get to add all three sides together. I'm guessing with the decimal. Okay, because I know my answer is somewhere between 22 and 23. So if I say, I'm going to say 22.4, just for whatever, plus that 17 and plus that 15. So we all know this decimal place is just random. But let's see what we can get for here. So I know that 5 and 2 is 7, 7, 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 and 3, 4, 5. So we got our 54, and the only one that has like a 54 is going to be B. That's how I would tackle it if I didn't have a calculator. Now, let me be real. If you're taking your GED and your ASVAB, they're probably not going to have this large of a number. They'll probably try to stick with the Pythagorean triplets, like the 3, 4, 5 triangle. They'll probably stick with something like that, to be honest with you. Okay? Because they know that you're doing all this math and you don't have a calculator. Right? So they're not going to be. Okay? All right. So that was a toughie. But if we were able to use a calculator, that would have been easy peasy lemon squeezy. So let's look at 8. If 2 plus x is greater than or equal to 8, what is the value of x? Is it A, greater than or equal to 6, B, less than or equal to 6, C, 6, or D, 4? Yeah, time consuming. I totally agree with that. Sure, I'll go back to it after this one, okay? I'll go back to 7 after this one so you can take pictures. Okay, so Candy saying A, Jenny saying A. Lots of A's. Fifi, you're back. Wee. All right. We have the Watcher is saying A. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Shells, how are you doing? It's been a minute. Sammy Boo, everyone's here. Everybody relaxing? Okay, the 3 Strongs is saying A. Blazer is saying A. All right, so let's take a look. We know right away we have an inequality. The inequality is not going to disappear. So it's not going to just be equal to a number. So that's why C and D is out. So now here's the rule. The inequality sign only changes when you multiply or divide by a negative number. That's not what's happening here because we have our 2 plus our x is greater than or equal to our 8. So now we're going to subtract 2. Ooh, 2's are terrible on both sides. So since we're subtracting, that inequality sign stays exactly the same. So it's going to be greater than or equal to. So my answer is A. Notice I didn't finish it because I can see, all right, they're both equal to 6. So can't change that. We didn't change the inequality sign. So your answer is just going to be A. So that's how you tackle it when you're actually sitting down and taking a test. When you see your answer, circle it, bubble it, click on it, and move on. All right? Good, Alicia. Good. Like, I got it right. Yes, you did. Awesome. So, guys, if we can do a quick mad tap, all right, while you guys are doing this, let's see if we can get to 10K. I would greatly appreciate that. Hey, D, thank you so much for the heart me. Okay. Jojo, why are you sad? I didn't get it. It's okay. Let it go. All right, Shannon, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much, everyone. Greatly appreciate it. This tends to help a lot of people to find me in this whole world because there's a lot of people that are doing exactly what I'm doing. You don't have to stop and say or just hang out and do some math. I greatly do appreciate it. Oh, here's number 7 for that person. Let me unzoom a little bit. See how quickly I forgot? As soon as I turned 53, everything just went to kaplooey. Okay. So this, do the math, okay. My kid's going to ask me soon. Exactly. Not a problem. Not a problem. Because I understand that when you haven't been in school since you were a fetus, right? So it's not like we're seeing this as everyday occurrences. I know there's a lot of people that's going to say, why are we doing this? What? All I know is if you feel like this is another way to jump through a hoop, why should you not learn it? Jump through that hoop, learn it, jump through the hoop, and then go do what you need to do. So don't let the math, I don't understand it, and blocking you, because I know how it feels when someone comes up to you that you really love and treasure, mostly your kids, and they come up to you with a question and you look at the question, you're like, what in the blessed hell is this? What happened to 4 plus 4? Like, you are in the 2nd grade. Why they say take the derivative? What? Like, no, it's crazy. So, I mean, and it's exactly what's going on. And then you're like, your kid's looking at you like, why can't you do it? My teacher can do it. Well, your teacher is trained for that, sweetheart. My loving child, that right now in 5.5 seconds, I want to throw this book out and say you're not going to school anymore. But let's refrain from that. Let's internalize that, breathe. And now you have someone that you can ask questions and just be like, how do you break this down? Please, for all things, can you show me? Now, before I get to the next part, thank you so much for the tapping. And I know some people, this is the weekend. If you do ever need to kind of look through like simple things like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions or decimals, or how to graph an equation of a line, how to define slope, how to factor, how to do a system of equation, or even just take a look at all of these type of mixture problems that we're doing, you can go here. Okay, I can't say the word because I'll get shunged. But then you can go to this channel and I have a playlist that says TikTok Lives. You can see all my TikTok Lives from February 2nd of, now I can say, last year. Crazy. I can't believe it's almost a year. If you want to, you can subscribe to it. It's a free subscription, so please don't freak out. And you'll get all my videos. It's like 200 and some odd videos on there. Look, watch them to your heart's content. Maybe even have your kid watch it. And to prove that they learned something, they can teach it to you. Shocker. Here we go. We're getting them to learn, right? So that just gives you another thing to look at. Okay, so you have that. All right, let me take this off. And let's get to the next part. Thank you so much for the taps, guys. I'm thinking of possibly, let's see if we can do 2 more pages and then we'll be done for the day because we all got stuff to do. Like me, I got laundry I have to do. It's crazy. But it's cheaper when you do your laundry later in the day on the weekend. Just a little helpful hint there. Okay, which of the following fractions is the largest? Is it A, 2/5, B, 3/8, C, 7/10, or D, 13/16? Okay, which is larger? Is that marker saying A, Sammy D, D, AZ D, Jacob D, the smaller the denominator, the bigger? The smaller the denominator, the bigger it is. Okay. Interesting. So we have our D. We have Candy with a D. We have Dodd with a D. I probably missed a couple people. I'm sorry. D, make sure you convert. There you go. Webb with an A. Then we have some person with a D. Okay. Kells with a D. Batal. Then we got that. User with a D. Michelle with a D. Esme with a D. Hey, Esme. Archie. We have Success with a D. So let's see. Let's take a gander. All right. So we want to figure out the largest. For me, the quickest way will be like a quick little division. All right. So we know, hopefully we know, because this was my turning point of getting somewhat comfortable with fractions, is that fractions is simply division. Okay. You're taking whatever you have in the numerator, you're dividing it by what's in your denominator, which is called your divisor. So taking a look, adding my decimal and 1 0, how many 5s can go into 2? 0. How many 5s can go into 20? 4. All right. But since that's a 0.4, I know a little bit of something about 7/10. Now 7/10 can also, if I convert it, will be 0.7, okay? Because anytime you divide with the 10, you're just moving that decimal place, which is usually right to the right of the number. You're making it smaller. So that'll be a 0.7. So I know that A is out. But then I want to take a look at D. So that means we have my 13. And thank you so much for the gifts. I'm sorry, I was being rude. I'm just so into the math. My goodness. So how many 16s can go into 13? 0. So how many 16s can go into 130? That is 8. Yes, because 16 times 8, that gives me 128. So since I have that 0.8, that means this has to be larger. Because I know that 3/8 is definitely not larger than, okay, I know that 3/8 is definitely not larger than 0.7. So the competition was really between C and D. If I wanted to make sure how many 8s can go into 30, well, only 3 of those bad boys can. Okay, that'll give me my 24. So that's why B, A, and B was going to be out. So the fight to the death was between C and D. So since I have my 0.7, that's my 7/10. That's what it is by definition. Then I had to do the dividing, there we go, of 13/16. Okay. So sometimes people kind of go with, oh, the one with the largest denominator. Sometimes that works, which in this case, the largest denominator kind of worked, but just double check. I would me personally, that's just me. Maybe it's my insecurities, but that's what I would do. That. Okay. And I know a lot of people is like, I want to do with the calculator. Stop it. Okay. I like to say this when I used to coach basketball is you practice the way you play. You play the way you practice. There you go. Because if you have a crappy practice, what makes you think you're going to be able to excel to your level when it's time for you to play in the game? Always put yourself in a game mindset. Okay. Now, number 10, we have the square root of 25 times the square root of 64. Is my answer A, 35, B, 40, C, 45, or D, 50? Okay. So we got Angie, we got the greatest soldier, the strongest soldier. I'm so sorry, the strongest soldier. Okay, we got Kim with a B, Blessed with a B, Bleza with an A, Adrian, we got Paula with a B, Black Diamond with a B, Miss with the Snowflake with a B, Kia with a B, Queen E with a B. Okay, we got a B with a B, with a B, 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 B. I will be the, okay. So, so let's see. We have the square root of 25. Talked about that a little bit earlier. Square root of 25 will give us 5. Now, the square root of 64, that gives us 8, because 8 times 8 gives me a 64. So now we just have to do 5 times 8, which clearly gives me 40. And my answer is B. Nice one. All right, let's work on some exponents. Let's do it, y'all. So we have x to the 4th times, and this is why I hate seeing x's for multiplication, because it gets confusing. You're thinking that there's so many x's out here. Nope. Trust me, I got enough x's that this world needs. Okay, so we have x to the 4th times x to the 5th times x to the negative 3rd power. So is your answer A, x to the 6th, B, x to the 12th, C, x, or D, x to the 23rd power? What do we think? We got some A's, we got some A's, we got some A's. Hey, Cloudy. We have our A's. We have our A's. Cafe wine with A's. Oh, that sounds nice right now. The Watcher with a B. Nunu is saying A. Okay. Joe. I think that's what it is. Okay. J. We got Don with an A. Queen E with an A. Nore with an A. Wise Guy A. Jan B. Blaza A. Esme A. Theo A, Strongest Soldier, Powers, Michael A. Okay, Kit, do I do geometry? I do for tutoring, but I just do the basic stuff that's usually in the GED. So sometimes it pops in, sometimes it doesn't. All right. So let's take a look. Here we go. When you're dealing with exponents and you are multiplying, you're keeping the base because they all have the same base, But what you are actually doing is you are adding your exponents. So what's happening here? 4 plus 5, that gives me 9. Still keeping that base of x. So you have 9 plus a negative 3. So 9 plus a negative 3 is the same as saying I have $9 and I spent $3. Guess what? I still have $6 left. So it'll be x to the 6th, which is A. Okay. Yes, you got it. There you go, Kia. Yeah, I'm pretty much broke. Yeah. The strongest soldier. You kind of hit the nail on the head there. That's trust and believe. Yes. So when you have the product rule, there you go. When you are multiplying, you're adding the exponents. Now, if I were to divide, I'm going to subtract the exponents. Good, good. I'm so glad you feel proud. See, that makes me happy. That makes me extremely happy. All right. Multiplication, the exponents. One's dealing with math and the other one isn't. The indexes. Indexes are usually used when you're talking about the roots, whereas the exponent, you're going to change that root into a fraction form. I'll show you in a second after this one. Okay, so number 12, we have y squared times y to the 3rd, all of it raised to the 6th power. So is your answer A, 2y squared? Is it B, 2y to the 30th power? C, y squared? Or D, y to the 30th power? So I'm seeing some B or D's. Pick one. What you think? What you think? What you think, my homies? So we got some D's, we got some D's, we got some D's, got a B, Theo with a B, Big G Money saying B, okay, Candy saying D with a question mark, Alicia with a B. All right. We're gonna tell Raven Wolf, how are you? With a D. Black Diamond's got a B. Johnny Boggs with a D. Okay. Imanik? That would be cute. If I'm saying it right. Pretty Woman saying a B. Pretty Woman. Okay. Shells with a B. Supersonic with a B. Screaming D. How are you, lovey? With D. Okay. It's D. All right. So let's take a look. Again, inside the parenthesis. Okay. Inside the parenthesis, we have our y squared, y to the 3rd, and all of this is raised to the 6th. Inside the parenthesis, we have same base. That means we are adding our exponents, because if we don't see a plus or minus, that means you're doing multiplication. If you're doing multiplication, you're adding your exponents. So that gives me y to the 5th power, raised to the 6th. Now, when you see a power being raised to a power like this, basically being split by a parenthesis, you are multiplying the exponents. Because if not, this, if I may put it in expanding form, it's saying you're saying y to the 5th is multiplying itself 6 times. Oop, one more. Okay, so this time your base is y to the 5th, and it's being multiplied to itself 6 times. So if you think about this, you're going to add the exponents. So you got 5 plus 5, that gives me 10. So this is 10, this is 10, this is 10. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 will give me y to the 30th. So instead of just doing it by addition, learning the rule, when you see a power being raised by a power, you multiply, which my answer will be D. Okay. Yep, it is going to be D. Why wouldn't 2 2y's making 2y. Okay. Because when you're multiplying the coefficients. So this is really a 1y times a 1y. If it is going to be 2y's, that means you're adding. We're not adding, we're multiplying. 1 times 1 gives me 1. And then you add just the exponents, which gives me 5. Okay, do we get that, JoJo? Nope, we're not adding. We're multiplying, but adding the exponents. Okay, so you're not adding the coefficients. You're adding just the exponents. Okay. Got that. Okay. Are you just saying okay just to shut me up? Because that doesn't work. We are no longer that sad little girl or little boy in the class that everybody's like, okay, I don't want to hold anybody up. Screw that. If you don't understand it, just say you don't understand it. We are grown, beautiful men and women. Okay? Children of God. This is what we're doing. So if you don't understand it, just speak up and say you don't understand it. All right? Because we're no longer those middle school kids, remember, where everybody, or elementary, when they're, we want to go out to recess. Okay, if we do this one problem, go out to recess, and you still didn't understand it, and you felt like if you can do one more problem, you would get it, but you didn't want to be that kid, right? Remember that? You don't want to be that kid like, can we do one more problem? You will be chastised for the rest of your life. So, right. So if you don't understand it, I will go through it again. Okay, talk to me. Okay, so because if you look in between, there isn't a plus or a minus sign. Okay, so that means you're going to be multiplying. What you're multiplying is the coefficients. Because if I go y plus y, that equals 2y. The reason why, because the coefficients, what I mean by that, the numbers that's in front of the variable are assumed to be 1. So if I'm adding, I'm going to add 1 plus 1. That's where the 2 comes, and they both have the same base. So that's why that y is going to be there. All right. But since we're multiplying, if you don't see anything, it's assuming that it's multiplication. But in order for us to combine it, we're going to add the exponents. So it's almost like there's 2 y's here and there's 3 y's there. And I'm going to write that slightly up here. 2y squared is y times y. Y cubed is the same as saying y times y times y. How many total y's do we have here? Okay, we'll have 5 y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where this y to the 5th, that's where that came from. Okay, it's not 5y. You're multiplying, people. If you were adding, yes. If you're multiplying, that's 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 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 1. Put a little remix on that, okay? No matter what, I'll still get a 1y. But I need to count how many visible y's there are, which is 5. Okay? All right. Are we feeling better? Yay? Nay? You got it? All right. She's like, I got it like 58 years ago. All right. Okay. I know it's going to be engraved in your head now. Good. All right. So let's see if we can get one more page in. If we can get it up to, let's see if we can do another Mad Tap to about like 30K, and then I will stop with the whole Mad Tap thing. Then I'll just be like, all right, enough of the Mad Taps. So if we can get the math tab, actually, let's do it to 25. Let's not be greedy. All right, let's get it up to 25. We are going to do more. We're just going to get this up to like 25K. So in the meantime, again, I'm not sure when people came in or didn't. If you do need the replays, this is where you can go. This is the name of the channel. And there is a playlist that says TikTok Lives. So if you go to those lives, go ahead and just have fun. Whatever the topic that you are, if it's mostly like algebra that you get a little stuck on, you can like sit and watch through the live. Now, also, if you want something that's a little more detailed, straight to the point, and not too all over the place like I am for my lives, then you can also order my algebra at your pace. Okay, it will help you out. You can watch a whole volume if you really wanted to. You can watch it in one day if you're really gung-ho about it. It also gives you a summative assessment at the end and also resources that is focused on that volume. So, and then also, I know the first one I threw in the exponents as a special gift, just a little extra gift. So you can work on your exponents a little bit more. All right. Well, Happy New Year to you, Arlene. All right. Perfect. Again, you guys do more than I need. Love it. All right. So let's get with this last page and then we can go on with our lives. You're like, I'd rather do this than and then deal with laundry. But, we all need clean clothes. Can't be running around butt naked. Sorry. I know that was your whole New Year's resolution, I want to pretend that I'm the Lord of the Flies. Sorry. Nope. It's okay. Look at you all getting all freaked out about. Now, if 5 plus 3, let me zoom in a little bit more because sometimes the plus signs looks like division signs, but it's okay. So 5 plus 3 times 6 divided by 2 times 8 minus 1 equals 3 plus 7 times x. They want to know what x equals. Is your answer A, 10.3, B, 14, C, 16.8, or D, 17.4? Give yourself a moment. Try to figure out. Aw, pretty baddie. How are you? Welcome back. You're saying my C. Panda saying my C. Okay, Mark saying C. Emma saying C. Someone said something earlier. I think I skipped them. Sorry. Candy, C. Was everyone else saying C? Okay, Mark. Okay. Phoebe. Good night. Yes. Toma. You saying my C. Good. Is it really C? Well, I don't know. Okay, Jojo, I appreciate you saying you don't know. L, hey, just question mark will work for me. Bun is saying C. Sirius saying C. Okay, thank you for the follow. Nats is saying C. That's perfectly fine. Lady is saying C. All right. So let's take a gander. I'm real. Okay. Jen saying C. All right. Maybe A. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, you get that. Okay, you need help? Not a problem. What do you think? I'm just going to post a picture. I'm like, all right, everyone, wish you luck. Enjoying the flames. All right, so let's take it step by step. So inside this parenthesis, we have 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 gives us 8. Okay. Inside the next parenthesis, what's 6 divided by 2? Let me get you guys doing that. Anyone here for the ASVAB? Probably a lot of other people, but that's a good question. Did you do that? Good. We got our 3s. Excellent. All right, there you go, Jojo. There's a person that follows. All right. So we had our 5 plus 3 that gave us our 8. Our 6 divided by 2 that gives us our 3. What's our 8 minus 1? Okay. Hey, Wick. All right, you do the same. Thank you for your volunteering. We've got our 7s. Good. All right. So now over here, we're going to have 3 plus 7. So 3 plus 7 gives me what? Yeah, I like to do from left to right. So 3 plus 7, good, gives us our 10. And 10 is being multiplied by x. So now, good. So now we need to multiply. It's kind of hard to multiply 3 things at once. So if you want, since it's multiplication, you can do 8 times 3, which gives me 24, and then multiply by 7. Or you can multiply 3 and 7, gives you 21 multiplied by 8. Either way, you're going to get the same blessed answer. So if anything, if you want to do 21 times 8, okay, that gives you 168. If you did your 24 times 7, that gives me my 8 carry my 2. 14 plus 2 gives me 16. So see, either way, you're going to get the same answer. So that means we have our 168 is equal to our 10x. So that means just looking at this, and I go back to my answer choice, I would say my answer choice is going to be C. Okay? Because remember what I said. If you're this time, you're dividing by 10. So you're making it smaller. So that means I'm moving it 1/10 of a way. So that's going to be between 16 and 8, or 6 and 8. But if you don't believe me, you want to do the whole thing. Remember, time. Okay, how many 10s go into 16? 1. How many 10s go into 68? 6. With my decimal and my 0, and we're going to bring that 0 down. How many 10s go into 80? 0.8. Okay? So if you can recall, no matter what, our answer is going to be C. All right. Oh, Red Indian, how are you? Yes, you have. Oh, my goodness. State trooper. Definitely a trooper. I had to figure out a way how to send you guys messages, because it's all kinds of crazy. All right, Fifi, what's your question? Just ask your question. You still remember? See? It's in there, social. It's in there. It's engraved in your soul. All right. Okay, ready for the next one? Or is it a long question? What we got, Fifi? Back in the 8th grade? I don't know. I was probably out playing basketball knowing my behind. I could like do an age thing and be like, because we were in the same class. All right? Bottom left, where you can send. Okay. All right, number 14. Let's see what we got. If x equals 3, then x cubed times, I hate this, sorry. I can't deal with this. Okay, there we go. Phew, feel better now. Okay, so if x equals 3, then x cubed times x equals what? Is it A, 73, B, 81, C, 35, or D, 38? So I'm seeing B, Malik, B, Izzy, 81, Black Princess, B, Mo, B, is it Peta with a B, Run with B, SB, Unpredictable, 81, A, B, Asia, AJ, B, Watchers, Web, B. Okay, everybody's saying B. Good. Now, replacing the X with the 3. So this is 3 cubed times 3. So we can think of it this way. Since they both have the same base, there's 3 3s over here and there's 1 3 right there. So it's really 3 to the 4th power. And 3 to the 4th power is the same as saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, that's the extended form. Group them. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 9 times 9 gives me 81. Okay, if you want to jump from here to here, you can do that. Okay, you got 3 3s and 1 3 all to the side. So it's really 3 to the 4th power. And then once you get your grouping, you got your 81, which is B. All right, you guys are rocking it. All right, 2 more. Let's see what we got here. Oh, sugar. It's really, yeah, I'll show you guys this. The last one may be a little doozy. So we have 900 times 3 divided by 2. What do we have? A at 920, B at 960, C at 1,240, D at 1,350. Ooh, and something exciting for me. I just sold 6 books. You guys rock. You guys rock. Oh my goodness. Yay! Those late nights. You got this one? So we got D's, we got D's. Thank you, Caribbean Queen. Okay, Jojo with a D, with a D. Yay, D. Yay. This one's easy. Okay. Justin Z, how are you? All right. So we could, there's 1 or 2 ways. You can multiply the 900 and the 3. So we know 9 times 3 will give me my 27. And then just add the 2 zeros. And then divide by 2. But here I know when I divide by 2, if I divide by 2 will give me 1. So that right away, A and B is out. Then how many 2's can go into 7? That will be 3 of them. So once I get to that, D has to be my answer. Okay, if I want to keep going, I know that 7 minus 6 will give me 1, bringing down my 0, that I got my 5, and then the 0 at the end. Yep. So you can do that way, or you could take in half of 900, which is my 450, and then just multiply by 3. You could have done that as well. That will give you the same answer. 2 ways, same answer. Okay. Okay. So, got that. All right, and the last one for today, or for tonight, wherever you're at. Okay, 7 horses are running a race. How many different ways could the horses finish the race? Is it A, 54, B, 150,400, C, 5,040, or D, 50,400? How many different ways could the horses, the 7 horses, finish the race? Look at all these people with C's. Are you just saying C to guess? You're just like, C. Okay, so I got some C's. I got Vernon with an A, Pretty with a C, Rock. That's part of it. I was thinking C, Jenny. Okay, 7. We got Joy. We got C, Design. Oh, that went too fast. Paula's guessing with a D. Okay, Design District with a D. Okay. So we got a couple D's, a couple C's. Okay, same with the factorial. All right, you give up, don't give up. Now, this is something that people haven't seen in a long time, unless you're currently in the class. So let's understand. So let's take a look. A lot of people are right away giving me 7 factorial. Not because it says 7! It's called 7 factorial. But here's the thing, that's why it can be. But we have to remember order. Like, this is worth for combos. But if they're running a race, there's different ways of looking at it. Don't forget, if they're running a race, that means order is important. Okay? So this is not a combination. They want the different ways. This is going to be permutation. So yes, because there's 7 horses that's in the race and there's 7 positions, we're lucky that is going to work out that way. Okay? Normally, it's going to be your permutation where there's 7 people in the race and there's 7 spots. So it will be the 7 factorial. Now, for those that don't know what a factorial is, it's basically the number that we're starting with, and we're multiplying all the whole numbers that are less, I know I'm using x's, I'm sorry, that are less than 7. All the way up to 1. So this is just an abbreviation to help us understand that we're multiplying large numbers, multiplying 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Yeah. Okay. But since it's permutation, we will normally take that and divide by the number of slots with the number of horses, which in our case, and take the permutation of that. Which in our case, that's going to give us, if you got a 0 permutation, that's basically going to give us our 1, right? So you're really just going to multiply 7 times 6, which gives us 42. Okay. Then we're going to multiply that 42, because I took care of this. We can multiply the 42 by our 20. Then we multiply the last bit, which is by 6. Notice I do it in sections. So if I didn't have a calculator and I got some crazy number like this, that means 7 times 6, 42, we can do that. 5 times 4 gives me 20. That's easy enough to multiply. Then I take the last bit, 3 times 2 times 1, that will give me 6. That's why I just multiplied that last part by 6. Okay, so if I have to do it by hand, that's how you would do it. Okay. Alrighty. You're getting better. Sandy Boo. I love that. You guys don't understand. I love to hear your success story. I'm starting to feel comfortable. I'm not as threatened. Now, if your kid comes up to you like, Mom, how do you do the distributive property? I'm doing calculus. Yeah. We'll get you a tutor. But if you have some kids that are coming in and they're just like, what's an equation in line? Now you can kind of tell them, y equals mx plus b. Your m is your slope and your b is your starting point. Okay? So before you go on a shopping spree, you have to know how much money you got. What's in the budget? Okay? That's your b. That's your starting point. And then how much you're spending at a certain rate, that's your slope. It's either you're spending a lot, that's a positive slope going all the way up, unless you're in debt, or you're giving money back. Okay, that will be your negative slope. All right, so this was fun. Appreciate the love. And again, if you need, let me see, get everything together. Okay, again, give me some time to upload it because sometimes it takes a minute. Okay, sometimes it might be a little ornery. But if you do want some time to take a look at the replays, this is where you can go. If you're interested in the algebra at your pace, just let me know. For if you want it immediately, you have the digital version, the link. Here we go. Boom, links in the bio. Okay, but if you want the actual books, you can go to the A, and I know a lot of people don't like the A, and I'm working on my bookstore, so I can give you like at least another version or another price option for the same stuff, because we all know it's going to be more expensive on Amazon because of convenience. But if you don't mind waiting like a week, we can actually go onto our Books By. I think I have that. Yep, I do have that. So if you want to try to order like the first volume, you can go to here. Even though I said the name multiple times, but if I say it because I'm pointing at something, might be a little ding. But if you want to try, you can go there. Not all of the books are uploaded there because, Books By needs to get themselves together. But definitely, if you don't mind waiting like a week to get your books, that would be the best place for you. But if you don't have like a week's time and you want immediate, you can get the digital copy, which is link in bio, or you can go to the A. All right. Yeah, I know I can't. I know. God forbid. Okay. So I will be signing off. Give me some time to upload this so you can watch it at your lovely leisure, and then enjoy the rest of your weekend. Before you know it, it's Monday. Isn't it crazy? Like, before you know it, it's just time to get back to the rat race. But don't let the rat race overcome you. Do what you got to do. Come home and relax. If you want to think of some other options of what to do to make money, trust me, there's always ways that you can make money. Legally. Gotta emphasize that. Because I sure as heck don't have bail money to bail anybody out. So don't say, oh, well, Audrey's told us. Nope. Legally. Oh, you have jury duty on Monday? Oh. Okay, so, no, I'm glad you showed up in FYP. I'm glad too. I'm so glad too. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you want to follow me, go ahead and follow me. If you have questions, go ahead and shoot me a message. I'm always looking at my request message section. So don't feel bad because I'm not friends with everybody, but I will definitely respond back. Just tell me what you need. Don't just say hi because I'll delete it, because usually spammers are like starting off with that. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk with you soon. Take care now. Bye.